Hey, welcome back. Pay close attention to this episode because something very interesting occurs.
The older bros come in. And they've already been partying. But they come in the house and they're like, they see us on the phone. They're like, "What's up?" So we tell them what's up. Lisa and her friend are calling from up the road. They're drunk and home alone. They were gone. They were out the door and up the road.
When I was considering what to do as content for this channel, I thought telling stories and speaking from experience would be good content. And for some reason, when I was practicing it, I keyed in on this incident long ago when I was a youngster about virginity, losing virginity, so on and so forth. Well, as we know from my journal as a 15-year-old, I talk a lot about girls and crushes and everything else. I mean, what 15-year-old boy doesn't? But in this episode, I get a proposal from a gal to basically lose the V card. And that proposal came from someone I was speaking about several weeks ago.
Phone rings. And on the phone is Lisa and her best friend calling from their house up the street. And they're drunk.
Just some serendipitous stuff going on. We're also going to hear about the election between Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter. Enjoy. October 22nd, 1980. This is being written now before I take a bath and finish my homework. I have more to do, so I want to get this out of the way. I'll tell you the truth, I don't feel like writing this at all. I want to take my bath, do my lab, then record the soundtrack of Coast to Coast that will be on the radio. Nothing great happened today. I got a 91 on a math quiz and a 92 on a Spanish quiz. I have made up my mind to go for Teresa Howley, although I happen to get once for Lisa later this day. Block, block, block. I'm writing out here in the kitchen and next to Joe as he's copying something and Sue and Dad over by the sink. I can't think. I just want to quit. Susan is wrapping me with a paper towel to get out of her seat. Don't read this, Sue. I gotta go. I want to quit. Bye. What a cheap entry. October 23rd, 1980. Ever since Monday, when I decided to myself I wasn't going to put everything I feel in this log, I haven't had a real interest in writing in it. If I didn't describe my decision, it's like this. There are just some things I'm not going to write down or ever mention. I won't write them down, so they go on as nothing. When this book is reread at a later time because they weren't here. The reason I bring this up is because something has come up that requires a lot of my thinking, and I don't want to write that thinking writing it down. I don't want to waste that thinking writing it down. One hint though, PM Magazine running a segment on Space Invaders. The day was so-so for the majority. Joe didn't weight lift with me today, so I did a lot of other stuff on my own along with the weights. Got my homework done early today, so I would hopefully have time for other stuff. As it turned out, I didn't. Last thing of the day, I want Teresa Howley. October 24th, 1980. I still haven't learned how to write a good entry. Psychiatrists get too involved in their work and don't really figure out their patients. I'm writing this entry during commercials of Invasions of the Body Snatchers. This makes it impossible to follow a complete line of thought. I'll end up writing bits of pieces of stuff, or I'll just wait until the movie is over. That movie was good, although I saw it before at the theater. It has a good concept. But how, if aliens come to Earth, why do they have to come in metal ships? The only things that happen that are worth mentioning are those things after school and not during. Although today for gym class, they had some hydraulic weight workout stuff. Those apparatuses were excellent. I pretty much did nothing after school since it was a Friday. Read my book, 100 Great Short Science Fiction Stories. My favorite story in it so far is Man from When. Stretched out and milled around. I'm getting some slow improvement on the stretches. My goal is a split. The parents had some company over to play cards. I know this sounds bad, but if is my honest feeling, they were scums. They had a baby too. What got me pissed was that before they left, Susan showed the lady the house, including my room. I don't need to explain why I think that was low down, because I'll know why later. Oh, it makes me mad. I saw the segment on PM Magazine about Space Invaders. I won't go into it because I don't want to blab off my new plans, but my feelings are running high on it. I want to get to sleep. I will. Good night. October 25th, 1980. Since it was a Saturday, I'll go into detail of what happened through the day. First of all, I only went out twice to get a towel rack out of the trailer and to bring groceries in. It has been pouring rain all day, really crummy. I woke up at 7:30 because I set my clock for that time, but I ended up snoozing till 9. During the snooze, I dreamed Scott came back from Hawaii and was really rich. Also, something went on with me and Teresa Howley. I got up and made some good French toast with lots of butter and honey. I then did the dishes, got dressed, and muddled around in my room. I cleaned up mostly, put my big mirror up, and a bulletin board in front of my desk. I dated and organized my picture collection, then sorted out some of my paper treasures. Joe finally got up at around 1, so I goofed around with him a while. Muddled in my room some more. Oh yeah, we unraveled a rubber he had and blew it up. He figured it was then useless, but then saw how I rolled it up, then wanted it back. He gave it to me. I said, too bad. They are handy when masturbating. I hate that word, but it is better than jerk or whack off. Joe and I did our daily stretching and weightlifting from 4:30 till 6:30 while the parents were shopping. We helped bring in groceries when they got back. I then milled in my room a little more, but then decided to talk to my dad about the Space Invaders. I started off by reading a letter Andre wrote me, which I value very much, to my father. We then were talking when Sue came up the stairs. I figured if I'm going to bring it all back up, I might as well go for broke. I got the whole idea back into discussion. My writing is awful. I want to change it. Alls I'll say now, so as not to spoil anything, is there is a definitely maybe about the idea going over, and that I won't give up from now on until my answer is found out. Why am I writing so small? I won't let up again. I won't let up now. I will go to sleep though. October 26th, 1980. I told myself earlier that I should write a really good lengthy entry because all week I kept saying I should do the tons of homework I had. Well, I only did the math and that leaves a lot more to do. I didn't do it, so I felt I should make up the work by writing a decent entry. Star. One aspect of my life concerning school is this. For all the years I've been in school, I have always done my homework every night like I was supposed to for only like the first month. Then something happens like today and I just put my homework off and don't do it. This is regrettable because now it will be that much easier later on to put homework off. Today I have started the homework put off syndrome. Now since I've written this down, I know it's not a good trait to have. I give myself the opportunity to say I will not do the put off bit again. I'll just say I've done it this weekend, but never again. This is what I'll try. Along with some other decisions I made today like the one above, I have decided not to let the Space Invaders plan slip from the parents' mind. I did good by bringing it up last night. I will not drop back and do what I have done for a month, forgetting of it. I will work until the answer and the plan are a definite go or an impossible non-do. It will have to be a do, just for the record. After the first couple of days, I was having back in New York, I laid off my Space Invader plan and worked on immediate stuff. I became personally afraid of the situation and sort of hid it away for a month. So from a week after I arrived until last night, there hasn't been an utter of Space Invaders between me and Sue or Dad. Last night's bringing up of the plan was like a rebirth of the idea and should be as memorable as the first time I brought it up, my idea, that day of 8/8/80. I will work from here. I had cream of wheat for breakfast this morning, and around 9:15 I finished, then got dressed, washed my hair, and went downstairs to fix up my RM100. I changed the oil and made gas and went riding for a while. It felt good to do that again. I had Joe take 2 pictures of me on the bike. I then did a major overhaul in my room. I nailed my carpet down so it doesn't lump up. I vacuumed and did a little organizing with my little possessions. I fudged around with a ton of other stuff, which was just stalling from doing my homework. Joe and I had a good stretch out later in the day. I can almost do a striding split. I'll be proud the day I can split both ways. To me, anyway. I ended up fixing my curtain today, too, because Dan and I had a fight, so he ripped it down. I did my math, then had supper at around 20 till 8. We had potato and egg, which Joe made very well. After that, I watched Cosmos. That is an excellent show, and the universe and stuff like that. On the universe and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I took down the TV antenna from the trailer because I thought it would help the reception to get in Cosmos on Channel 17. I got it all set up with help from Joe on the side of the house. We tested it, but it didn't do good at all. I discovered all I needed to do was screw a piece of tinfoil into the UHF screw, and it came in perfectly. Well, the antenna will work when I get it up on the roof, so it won't be a total loss. I will be a total loss in the morning if I don't get to sleep now, so I'll catch you later. October 27th, 1980. This was definitely an interesting day. During school, I had to do a rush copy of someone else's Rome sheets. I got that done, but I'm not sure if it will get a good grade. We started watching Moby Dick in English. We will see more tomorrow, so that gives me something to look forward to third period. When I got home from school, I got right to eating, then doing my math. After I got last night's homework done too, Joe and I snuck out my window to take some pictures. We didn't want Dan to follow, so we snuck out. I got film for my Pen EE camera. We got some okay shots until the sun started to go down. I then got Joe to go across the big field and up on the back hill to get some pics of the mountains with the sun going down behind them. It was really beautiful seeing the mountains silhouetted against the orange sky. I have secretly decided that to be my official getaway spot at the end of the day. It is really nice. What is worth putting down is this. I got what I called a proposal from Lisa Brady. She gave me a card saying, "This coupon is redeemable for sex," or something like that. She looked serious when she gave it to me, so I take her seriously. Now all this gets very complicated when you add these. 1. I have never made love before. 2. If I did it with her, would it be love? 3. Will she open her mouth and blab afterwards? 4. Etc. I know I do want to fuck for a first time, but I always wanted that first time to be special. I don't think it would be special with Lisa, so I don't feel inclined to do it with her. But then I want to do it so I can get some experience to make another time special through my capabilities. Understand? The question is, do I want to do it with Lisa for the first time to get it done, or should I forget her and wait for a better time? I pretty much have it in decision to go ahead and do it with her. The big thing that decides that is I do have to sometime whether it's special or not, and I at least better do it with someone who... Oh hell, listen to what I'm saying. I'm conforming. I will not attempt to explain further because it will only get me pissed. Thought rule number 1. I will write, however, on what happens if anything happens. Laters. October 28th, 1980. Joe and I just finished watching the Carter and Reagan debate. We're staying up trying to call up to tell who we liked better. Joe wants Reagan and I want Carter. The day was okay. I did my homework when I got home from school, but nothing else. Washed dishes a little, fought with Dan. We were watching Salem's Lot, but it was postponed. I wore my denim jacket that I found of Scott's with a sweet shirt, hooded. Under stated I was really cool today. I want to go to bed. This entry goes into history. The worst ever. October 29th, 1980. Start over. I'm lying here in bed watching The Omen. I put up the TV antenna on the north side of the house and got Joe's to working. I actually got it going for me because I knew I could borrow it off of him. 3 of the biggest things on my mind at the week are getting my homework done so my grades get better. I'm not doing as good this year as last, at the start at least. Another is getting the parents to decide if they want to do the Space Invaders project. Another is I might fuck. This Friday, Joe sort of set up to meet Lisa Friday night, Halloween, and he said he's going to make sure he tells her I want her. I went over this before, but I have decided I'll do what comes up. No explanations. I wore my corduroy vest today, along with everything else. Got my lab finished today. Had a baby powder fight on the bus. I'm not going to watch the rest of the movie with this book in my lap, so good night. October 30th, 1980. So far, since I'm writing this kind of early to get into practice for my homework, the day has gone as such. Had Wheaties for breakfast and wore my denim and sweatshirt set up for jacket. Got a 90 on my math notebook grade. Watched the final segment of Moby Dick in English. Got learned on how to do our labs in lab class. Had a piece of pizza for lunch. Went over protein synthesis in biology. Played password in Spanish. Talked about Rome and European history. Rode the bus home. That was not necessary to say because I ride the bus home every day. Got home, ate 2 hot dogs, washed dishes, put them away. Took garbage out and burned trash. Argued with Joe because the list that had all the things on it that he did for an allowance got burned too. He was pissed. Now I'm writing in this. Lately, writing in this log has been getting me pissed off. Overall, I have not been feeling good about myself lately. I don't know why, and I'm not about to try and figure it out in this book. My opinion of myself has taken a sharp decline. I feel as if nobody likes me. I feel as if I don't have the ability to understand myself as I have before. I feel like I had reached my peak of production and have stayed constant while everyone else is passing me up. This analogy really gets me down because I have always thought myself as being way ahead of everybody else in the way I think. Shut up. I'm getting mad by saying this, so I tried blocking it out and I will, but I just want to put it in the record that I feel as if I don't know which is the right way to think. After all, what is the right way? This pattern of thought that I'm going through is something that might have an impact on life, on later life. I'm going to bed. October 31st, 1980. Happy Halloween! What a bummer. Joe and I went out tonight, but nobody else was out. We wandered around a bit, then came back in. I am so disgusted with this night. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm really disgusted with myself. Today in school was good because there was light hearts from Halloween. I did nothing when I got home from school because of it being Friday. Wasted a total and day. I don't want to write any more of that stuff. I went to my retreat spot on the top of the hill today. I want to bring a companion up there to watch the sun go down. That's all I want. A beautiful girlfriend to lay next to in quiet settings. Oh well, I can't write in this without thinking of anything, and I'm getting down thinking what I'm thinking. I'll go to bed. Saturday, November 1st, 1980. I interrupted my daydreaming to write now. It was my old but good dream of meeting a girl from the past who had gone through a time warp or something like that to now. The rest of the dream goes on as you remember, Kent. I won't go into it now. I might make a book of it. Rats. I'm starting to get those red, dry, pimply bumps on my thighs like 17-year-olds do. I'm glad my body is changing, but I don't want those rough bumps. Scott's got them. That infected scab area on my right cheek is almost gone. That was gross, too. My fingernails need cutting also. I put a door in where my curtain was, to my room. That took most of my day. It's up pretty good. It closes automatically by spring, and I put a sheet over the windows for privacy. The whole idea of it is for privacy. So I'm going to put a lock on it. I wore my camis all day today. I love those pants. I went into Hudson tonight with everybody else. I bought a book, Dragon Quest. It's the second part of a trilogy. Dan bought a Star Wars Punch-Out book. I helped him put some together tonight. We had cheeseburgers for supper tonight. They were excellent. Tomorrow I plan to clean my room, write my mom and Scott, do homework, lift weights, and do chores. Let's see if I get those done. I'll tell you what happens tomorrow. Good night. I can't seem to get in position that will at least help me write neater. I'm sitting up, slouched now in bed. November 2nd, 1980. Now for a quick segment in my log here. I got up at 9:30, had cream of wheat for breakfast, worked on my door for a while, put a lock on it and handle. Cleaned up a little too. Had Joe take some pics of me outside. Fussed around mostly until we did stretching and weights. We had a really rough workout. Did my homework and wrote my mom and Scott. I didn't get chores done today. I helped Joe fix up his room and he's still working on it. We had ham patties for supper along with corn broccoli and potato fries. I was going to watch Cosmos tonight, but Dan is already watching something else. I got mad but did nothing else. I can watch Cosmos on Thursday. I'll read my new book for entertainment, but first I have to study for math test tomorrow. Nothing else to really say, but it was a beautiful day and I wished I had had gone out and enjoyed it a while. I will next time. November 3rd, 1980. I had English muffins for breakfast. I wore my chamois shirt with my new jeans. Had a test in math and I'm not sure what I got. It was a so-so job. I'll let you know how I fared. The rest of the school day was the same, although I have gotten very friendly with Kristen Hoffensberger lately, if you know what I mean. Got home and grinded out on hot dogs. Did some fussing around, recording and stuff like that. In fact, I can remember. I ate. Dan came home as I was doing dishes. I talked with him for a while, then did some singing recording with Joe. We listened to it, then I came in my room and did some of my own recording of my thoughts. The parents came home, so I said hello to them, attempted my homework and couldn't find my notebook. Had a good stretch workout with Joe and came back upstairs and attempted to find my notebook. Ate supper, talked with Joe and Dad about the life, did some recording on life in my opinion, took a bath, then came in my bedroom to write in my book. That is a typical day. Now, a comment on the recording I did. I talked about the way I think earlier today, but then did some recording about what I thought of man to the way he is and lives. I won't comment on that because it's recorded on tape. But what I would like to say is, starting this 10th grade year, I have been surely heading toward what my life will be. I'm learning new ideas and thinking new ones for the future, but I am showing a noticeable progress to the way I'll be when I mature more. Just pointing that out. I have to go to bed. November 4th, 1980. School was normal today, although in English we did a popularity plus thing, which people were like a description given and also one of those value yourself things. We also had school elections in homeroom. Speaking of elections, it's election day. Ronald Reagan won by 1 vote over Carter in our school elections, and I just came in my room after watching Jimmy Carter concession speech. Ronald Reagan is our next president of the United States. I feel like I don't like the turnout, but I also feel like sitting back and waiting to see if anything new happens. Oh well. Next election I'll be able to voice my opinion in the vote. My back hurt all day today due to excessive stretching yesterday. When I got home from school, Joe and I had a fun fight over who would get the most hot dogs. I had hid them, but easily submitted them, so he'll do the same if he does it. I found my lab, so I read one of them, lifted weights, had an argument with the parents. Susan actually over a $250 dog Sue is getting tomorrow. She thinks I'm going to cause trouble over it because of how much it costs and think I'm going to tell her how to keep it. She's just paranoid and I didn't want to get into it tonight. I really don't like Sue. Because of the election day today, me and my father and Joe got into an after dinner discussion about government and all. It was good and I learned from it. I want to learn about politics now because it is now a dream of mine to become President of the United States. I will discuss that later. This weekend looks like I might do a little something with Lisa Brady if I risk it, if it works that way. Her parents are leaving this weekend. Also, Teresa Howley has really been getting me interested, and Joe has been threatening to put me into or something that to say hi. I am afraid to meet her. for a big reason. I think she's gorgeous. I wonder if I get to know her, if she'll let me call her Thigh. Thigh? November 5th, 1980. Got him. I just smacked a fruit fly buzzing around me now. Today I got up right out of bed without moaning or groaning about how tired I was. No special reason for doing that. I just got up, no stalling about it. The day in school was pretty good. I know that's all I ever say about it, but what the hey, it was as all the other are. I found out what a couple of my quarter grades are. Not going into that now. One thing I must add about the bus ride home about the people on it. Pat Barron is really getting on my nerves. Robin Cromer has a wicked crush on me and is making little girl passes, 7th grade. And Rosalind Barron is looking real cute. She will be nice when she grows up. Joe and I discussed that. We both agreed, though, that a couple of years from now would be the better time. Everybody else, Kent is the way you remember them. Had French toast after school and got right to work on cleaning up the hallway room that leads to my room. It was cluttered with junk, so I took my room noon to clean it, and I did this and other chores until the parents got home. Then I did dishes and hung around the kitchen to spock out the new dog Sue got. They went to New Jersey to get it. Cost her $250. It's a pedigree Newfoundland pup, 6 months old and big. It's really beautiful, but I have vowed not to attach to after because I am disgusted with pets after Ben's fate. I then stretched out with Joe for an hour and supper, fish patties, french fries, and peas, and took a bath. I got sucked into watching Real People in Joe's room after my bath, so when the time came to do my homework, I didn't have the drive to do it. I'll now make up an excuse to Mrs. Maryland to get more time to do it. Kent, that's really bad. I had a week to do them, but I just didn't want to. After all, you only do a great amount of your things because you want to, and also because you don't want to. And what I want now is to close this notebook and go to sleep. So good night. November 6th, 1980. This has to be a quick entry because I'm going to go watch Cosmos. I had grilled cheese for breakfast this morning, found out my grade in math for the last test, 95. I also got a 92 for my quarter grade in English. It was a 96. By the way, this morning there was shit and piss all over the floor from the new dog in the kitchen. Also, when Sue put him down in the cellar for the day, he shit and pissed all over our weights and Matt. I don't like the dog. Joe stayed after school for detention, so I had a nice quiet afternoon after school. It was pleasant. I also got my lab done and other homework. Joe and I made a recording of something talking about later. We also stretched upstairs because of the mess downstairs. I then lifted weights and Joe didn't. We had eggs, potatoes, and peas for supper. Lots of other stuff happened, but I have to go. November 7th, 1980. Let me explain something that has been happening lately. It has something to do with the way I get up in the mornings on school days. I'm in a dreamy state in the morning, which is hard to explain, right? It is really strange because the alarm goes off and I wake up thinking it's the middle of the night and I'll get a lot more sleep time, which feels good. But then I come to my senses and realize I'll have to get my body out of bed in only a half an hour. That really gets me pissed. I don't know the word. It may not seem like I explained anything, but getting up in the morning is the very first thing I do in my day. And also, my first conscious thoughts are thought then, so that has some bearing. Maybe I should have said semi-conscious. I can't stand writing at the bottom of the page. My hand slips off the edge. How to? Joe and I waited in the van today for the bus because it started to rain. School was pretty normal today. I made another goal in gym today, soccer. That makes 3, and that is the most in our class so far. Because it was Friday, people were pretty rowdy the last couple of periods, especially biology. Took a math in Spanish and got back my Rome test in European history, 96. On the bus ride home, Tina had her friend on, Mike's girlfriend, Michelle, and me got daring each other to do a split in the aisle, me, Joe, and Tina. Joe and Tina went first, so they all pushed on me to go. I got about 3 inches away from the floor. Peer pressure does wonders. Oh yeah. In school, I borrowed a discus off of Coach Thompson for Joe to try it. Joe is interested in the throwing the discus for track, so we went out in the field after school and threw it. After my teaching, Joe chucked it 82 feet. He will get better. The rest of the day was goofing around. Oh yeah. Joe got a Joe got a Penthouse mag from a friend in school. We were spocking that out. Nice. I also ate supper in Joe's room with him. Hot dogs. Gotta go.
I was a sophomore in high school, and by that time, Lisa was a freshman in high school. Driving on the bus to school every day, she started to look really attractive to me. Lisa was really cute. She's a blonde girl, pixie haircut. She gets on the bus one day in this halter top, no bra. And I want to say that anatomy stuck out and it caught my attention. And I thought Lisa was really cute. And I actually imagined myself like being her boyfriend, her being my girlfriend. Because, that whole year, life revolves around when am I going to lose my virginity? And it's a Friday night, and me and Joe are hanging out doing whatever we're doing, and the phone rings. And on the phone is Lisa and her best friend calling from their house up the street. And they're drunk. Hello? Hi, Kent. This is Lisa. Oh, hi. What are you guys doing? We're hanging out. Do you want to hang out up here? What do you mean? You want to hang out up here? What, like with you? She was, yeah, me and I can't remember her friend's name. We're here. My parents aren't home. What? So I called my side. Joe, my God, it's Lisa calling. He's like, what? I said, yeah, they want us to come up, hang out with them. Your parents aren't home. What do we do? What do we do? And Joe's like, I don't know. Let's go up there. I said, Joe, no, we're not going up there. They're drunk. Okay? We're not doing that. So while me and Joe are arguing about what to do, the older bros come in. And they've already been partying. They come in the house and they see us on the phone. They're like, what's up? So we tell them what's up. Lisa and her friend are calling from up the road. They're drunk and home alone. They were gone. They were out the door and up the road before we knew what was what. And just as you can imagine, what happened. Our older brothers popped the round red fruit-shaped symbol of these 2 freshman girls. I wasn't heartbroken, but I was upset. I thought that was wrong. I don't know what moral compass was in me that thought that was wrong, but I did think it was wrong.